It has been almost 1 month since the terrorist attacks in Paris, France. My friend Tommy and I happened to take a quick trip to Paris that very weekend. The events that occurred and the emotions that were felt created a long 2 days we won't soon forget. I sat down with Tommy to talk about the impact that weekend has had on him.
The first day in Paris, we just saw pretty much like the big attractions, the Notre Dame, Eiffel Tower. You really wanted to find the Lovelock Bridge, so that was a task within itself. We got back to the house probably like 9:30. And since we had been through the whole day without Wi-Fi, obviously the first thing we did was turn on the Wi-Fi.
Right.
Both of us, and Haley included, we were getting like just a bunch of texts and messages saying like, are you guys safe? What's going on? And we were just all looking at each other like,
we had no idea.
what is going on? And I think either we checked Facebook or the news, BBC, something like that, and it just said like terrorist attacks in Paris.
We start now with some breaking news. Reports are coming in of an attack, or quite possibly several attacks, in Paris.
Soon after we found out about the bombings at the football stadium, that's when I think the first couple shootings started to pop up at the random cafes and restaurants and whatnot. And then probably within the next 30 minutes to an hour, that's when we found out about the hostage situation at the theater. And then that's when our host let us know that, hey guys, you should stay inside.
We're really close.
You're less than a mile away from the theater.
We did venture out later the second day, just kind of try and describe the atmosphere and like the mood of the whole city when we were out.
The streets were still relatively crowded, but no one was talking. There was just like a awkward silence pretty much, and you could just see the emotion on people's faces. Like you could still see like no one really could encapture the fact that this just happened in our city like the night before. And it was like you really wanted to sympathize with the people, but we're not, from Paris, we're not French men or women.
So one of our stops on that second day venturing out was the Bataclan Theater where the hostages were held. So kind of just talk about that surrounding area and like the mood and things that you saw.
It was still pretty surreal. No one could still kind of grasp the fact that everything just happened the night before. We saw like pretty much the remainings of the scene. Like we saw latex gloves, we saw blood on the ground, we saw a lot of trash, we saw the police officers. I expected more people to be there to kind of grieve and like pay their respects or whatnot, but understandably like everyone was still kind of cautious about the whole situation.
So just kind of describe like what you were feeling in the process of coming back here.
I know when we first stepped onto campus and I saw Jenner Villa, never had I been more happier to see that building. And when I unlocked my room, I had never been happier to see my super small dorm room, see my bed and everything. It just feels weird. Like just a couple of days ago, I was in Paris. I was less than a mile away from the terrorist attack, but now I'm back here in Cheltenham at school as if nothing ever happened. I mean, it kind of brings back to me like when you look at someone, you never know what they're going through that day.
Now that it's hard to believe, almost a month since the attacks, what kind of thing has like resonated with you, and like what's the big takeaway that you got from all this?
Up to this point now, thinking about the mood of the city, I kind of do empathize with them because as a whole we're all people and we all hurt the same way.